Hey, welcome to the No State Project live from the fortified compound in Mesa, Arizona, where we got a break from the extreme heat. So, if you're not aware, there is a major difference between, let's say, 102, which is about the high for today, 103. Huge difference between that and when it gets above 110. That is just, it's just like an order of magnitude so much worse. And if you spend any amount of time out here, you will learn to be able to tell the difference between 100 degrees and 110 to 115, which is, I think we broke almost the entire month of July at every single day in July, except for today, 110 plus. Wow. So we actually got a little bit of rain last night. So there was a bit of humidity, but the other day it was about 109 and the humidity was about 28%. So you can joke around all you want, but when it's 109 and you got 30% humidity, that is so much worse. That is, yes, it is even worse than 115 degrees and only 8% humidity. So enough of that. Kind of a lazy day today. I think the show is winding down. Wow, this is that's that. What do you do? What do you do? This one just got to 683 and then just kind of died. So I'm going to just read some comments, and then as people file in, I'll go to the live comments and respond. So if you've got a question regarding the No State Project channel here and the work that I've done, then leave a comment and I will get to that. I would say use the thank you feature, but that has been that has been a monumental failure. So what can you do? Man, some of these. Yeah, the show is definitely on and winding down. So more than likely, I will not be doing live streams any further. This is not going to be the last one. I'll probably round out the week and maybe do a live stream finale next Monday. But it's definitely better to do, under these circumstances, it's better to just do 7 or 8 recorded videos per month than being tied to a schedule, having to start this at 7 o'clock on Monday and Wednesdays. So won't be the last one tonight, but it is. I definitely decided after looking at these numbers. Yeah, this is going to be. Yeah. We're in the last. We're in the final stretch here. Wow. Yeah. All right. So let's get to your comments. We'll get to Star Sun Thunderhawk has got a few comments here. Does natural law supersede man's law? Well, when it comes to everyday enforcement, law has to do, it has to be enforced. And so you can cry natural law all you want. It's not going to help you out in most circumstances, other than I wouldn't start yelling natural law if someone's attacking me and I am going to use self-defense. I think what you're doing here is, this is something that I experienced back in the 90s, people trying to get away from ridiculous political laws, and now your natural law is, it's got to be not natural law. It's not going to be a productive road to go down. If you're going down the road, I think you are. So they say here, there is no victim in prostitution. It is a voluntary exchange of property. It's another thing. This whole thing, this idea that property for rent, I don't believe that people are property. So I don't believe your body is property. I don't think that. I think we kind of evolved from such a notion that people are property. So I think some may go, well, the thing with slavery was, and that was bad because you considered somebody, your body was considered somebody else's property. And I just think the idea of, and I don't fetishize property. That's what ANCAP kind of people do. The idea that property is the be all end all of everything, and this, I can do whatever I want. My property, I can do literally whatever I want. It doesn't matter if I'm harming other people. So, yeah. So I just don't see people as property, and that some edgelord anarchist types like say, well, it begins and ends really with the proposition that you own yourself. Yeah, all right. So I don't buy into this. Again, the people are not property, and certainly other people are not your property. Mark Kress is commenting, actually, we tried to make a judge accountable. One problem, they were not a judge, they were a magistrate, which give no jurisdiction to proceed with misconduct charges. Well, there's so much context missing from this comment. Magistrates are judges. It's just another name for a judge. I mean, a magistrate may have different functions depending on the jurisdiction. So as far as the federal courts, you have a judge, and then you have a magistrate judge. And the magistrate judge, for example, could do a lot of pretrial stuff. And a magistrate judge can recommend that a complaint be dismissed, but it has to be signed off on by the judge who is now overseeing, who's kind of the supervisor. So holding a judge accountable, I would imagine if it was criminal, yes, judges have been impeached, and several judges have been impeached, and some judges have actually gone to jail. So we know in Pennsylvania, the jail for tots, 2 judges in Pennsylvania actually went to prison because they were getting kickbacks from the prison system to put children into jail. So that's one way to hold judges accountable. As far as misconduct, again, you can vote a lot of them out. You can, like here in Arizona, you can vote them out. So here I'm not, which gives no jurisdiction to proceed with misconduct charges. Well, private people can't. No, you can, and judges have judicial immunity, so I'm not getting much. I'm not understanding too much about that. I think as far as holding judges accountable, you and we ain't doing it. So, Eminon commented, henceforth, no government official, including cops, shall place a man on trial upon his own unsupported statement without producing credible witnesses to the truth of it. Oh, Magna Carta, which, Magna Carta, as it evolved in English law, there was a lot, like due process was, so there were some good things that seem to have come from that. Joe Baker's, can a judge deny a Brady request? Well, my friend did a motion for a Brady request. It was denied. He was later convicted. Well, the Brady request is actually to the prosecutor. And a prosecutor can say vafangul, which they typically will. And then you have to move to compel the prosecution. Maybe that's what Joe is talking about here, a motion to compel the discovery. Can a judge deny that? Yes. Let's say, just for sake of argument, there is no Brady material. You know? So that would be one reason. So I don't know why he was convicted, but if there was Brady material, and certainly that is something, if we're talking about in that particular video last week, we're talking about Brady cops. If you've got if you've got the goods on them, like if I'm asking for evidence to support the cop's opinion, and it's not in the record, and the prosecution doesn't provide it. That's something that could definitely be brought out in trial. And then if I'm convicted, I would use that, the denial of the Brady material, the Brady request, the failure to disclose. It's called disclosure, you dickhead. Didn't teach you that either. That's something I could use on appeal for denial of a fair trial. I'm not able to adequately defend myself, effectively defend myself without disclosure. So, Bluesky stating the obvious. They always lie, because the question for last show was, do cops lie in court? And it's a resounding yes, all the time. You have to just assume that if a cop is communicating, he's lying. And yes, police officers are permitted, and it's not considered a violation of due process until it crosses a certain line of where it becomes a mental torture. They're allowed to lie in interrogation and investigations to get admissions. So, 5858 commented, no way cops lie in court. They're good, honorable people. Yeah, that, very cool. Appreciate the sarcasm. Higher self comments here. This video actually did pretty well for my channel. Mark should erase the comments from trolls. It's so I'm going to correct the language. It's so destructive or disruptive. Well, contrary to, see, now I'm glad that is posted for a few reasons, because I have a number of trolls, people who insist that I edit my comments. First of all, I don't have the time. And the only time I would delete a comment, which is extremely rare, is if it is just over the line homophobic or racist. Or if it is violent, advocating violence. So, and trolls are what you get on YouTube. I had trolls when I had a website, and I had pretty active comments on the forum, which was a shame to have that gone. I wish I could have done something to migrate everything to a free website, but I was not able to do that. And trolls are just something you have to deal with. I even when I did a call-in show, I was not too often, but trolls are what you got to expect. And I would rather not. But when it came to like Discord, when I had Stahl, who was spamming pages and pages and pages and pages, you can't have any meaningful discourse at all when one guy is monopolizing and spamming QAnon crap. So he had to be blocked and banned. God Spates. Hey, Mark, thanks for doing court stuff. I miss it, and it's super valuable. Well, I appreciate the comment. I wish more than a handful of people actually agreed with that. But I do appreciate that. Silbal for Liberty commented, not a fan of Bundy's. No. That was a display of patriotism like none other in our current history. I like you both for that reason. I am nothing like Ammon Bundy. Nothing. We need more patriots to reverse the tyranny in this country. Well, I don't know. And of course, Don, thank, great information. Like to hear more. I'll do my best to do more, but not necessarily in a live stream. Wow, this one is really going back. This is a pretty old case now. Let me take a look at this. 11 years ago. Holy crap. This is 11 years ago. Exposing another political fallacy, physical location doesn't equal presence within a state. That's because states are political fictions. Corporations, a figment of the legal imagination. Jay Morgan commented, I appealed this very topic in the Court of Appeals. The prosecutor claims because I prematurely filed for discovery and because I didn't use my subpoena rights to get a dash cam video that it can't be a Brady violation. The prosecutor failed to give me a true copy of the dash cam video that included the GPS, but used the video against me in trial. I objected, but had I known about it and prepared for it, I could have done more to attack the GPS. It's actually to my favor because it shows the cop isn't speeding 95 to 103 as he claimed I was going. It shows him going 60 after he... Well, that's still... You should still be able to use... Should have still been able to use that to impeach the police officer, show that he's lying through his teeth. Prematurely file for discovery. They'll say anything. Yeah, and then if you file it right when they say, well, it's too late. Too late. LOL. Too late. Let me go back. Wow, this video is going back. This is my highest viewed video, and it really goes back about 2013. That's 10 years ago. Stark Marshall commented, Mark, can you please refer to links for motion to dismiss state of Texas? I do not distribute that stuff anymore, but not that I advocate using it, because I don't. Find anything on the internet, you got to verify that it's accurate. And if it's quoting certain laws or quoting court cases, you have to make sure that that is current law. So if somebody did want the documents I no longer distribute, long ago, people put them online. Even when I still distributed them, people put them up online for free. You could just do a search for that and you'll be able to find that. So, PE1 commented, is Brady material and discovery material the same thing? Did I address this already? Is Brady material for civil or criminal cases? Thanks, Mr. All right, I think I may have addressed this. Maybe not. Brady material and discovery material are not the same thing. Discovery material is the broader classification of what the prosecutor is supposed to, or the plaintiff is supposed to give you that they plan on using against you at trial. Brady material is a subset of discovery material. Not all discovery materials, Brady material. Brady material is very specific in that Brady material is exculpatory evidence. So this is evidence that tends to show that you're innocent, or that you're not guilty. You're not the guy. So, whereas general discovery material is material that the prosecution believes tends to prove that you are guilty. Brady material is for criminal cases only. Tubehound 69 comment, to jump into conclusions means the conclusion was came to without, well, jumping to conclusions means the conclusion was come to with insufficient data. 26,000. Now here, I spoke at length in this stream. Police officers in Connecticut filed 26 false or misleading traffic tickets. 26,000. And so they were trying to, the apologists were trying to, well, we not jump to conclusion. It may not have been on purpose. 26,000, it's on purpose. Jason Garrett Gibson, thank you, Mark Stevens. Brooke West commented, absolutely disgusting. How do you trust those officers after that? Well, you can't. Let's get this straight. If a bank clerk stole 26,000 from the bank, you think they keep their job? No, And you don't even have to be looking at someone like a bank clerk. You can look at somebody at a fast food restaurant, or you can go to, a supermarket or something like that. Somebody making minimum wage, working 4 hours a week, and they take $2 out of the, they're gonna lose their job and go to jail. So, just for those who may be interested, Mark, I want to compliment you on your video presentation. Thank you. The text is clear, readable, and your face shows up well. The audio is clear. Are you using OBS? How powerful of a computer are you using? I have okay. Well, I am using OBS, as I will show you. See, this is I am using OBS. OBS is wonderful. I mean, for me to get complimented on it, it's pretty good. So, yeah, I do use OBS. OBS has wonderful filters, so you can take a cheap microphone and get really good audio quality. In fact, I would bet the farm that very soon there is going to be a filter on OBS that gets rid of reverb. Now, I have a pretty good setup here as far as, so I don't have a lot of reverb, but they do have, there are some very expensive, so there's a very expensive software that will, if you have audio with reverb, you can get almost broadcast quality. This is not live, but but after it's recorded, you can remove all of the reverb with just a click. I mean, it's amazing, but it's very, very expensive at the moment. So not something that I could ever afford. So what I'm going to do is I will spend the remaining 10 minutes or so, because I'm going to have to end the stream here soon. I'm going to go to your comments. So as you see on OBS here, I use the pride flag again. Just to all the homophobes who may still be lingering and trolling the channel. So all the homophobes, va fango. I will go to your comments here. See what we got here. Aloha, yes, and cheers, Real Jingy. How much of the recent weather phenomenon do you attribute to geoengineering and geopolitics? I don't. Zoo Brooks AB, I understand why you want to shut it down, but I wish you wouldn't. I'd like to be able to do it, but I honestly, there, AB, to be locked into the schedule where I have to do it at 7, that's rough. That's rough. So it has been an interruption, and the payoff. Yeah, and what helps here is when I do a live stream, there's no editing, and so that helps. So when I do a recorded video, I have to spend a little bit more time because I do have to edit it, but that's, you got to do what you got to do. This is Blake from the Litigation Jurisprudence Calls 6 years ago. Oh, well, welcome back, Blake. Jay Morgan, what happened to the update with the trial where they claimed you were practicing law? Wow, you've got to go back to Jay, you got to go back, way back into 2020. And I'll give a little bit of detail here because I got a lot of comments to get to. It was obvious I couldn't get a fair shake from the Bar Association because they did admit that the scumbag inactive lawyer who is an economics professor, I won't go any more specific than that, they agreed. I showed this on, I'm pretty certain I showed the document. I read it, definitely read it on the air. I thought I showed it. They agreed that this that he had lied, but they would not strike it from the record. They wouldn't hold him accountable. They would still consider it because they considered it that it was okay because they were just his opinions. They weren't statements of fact. They were statements of fact. So just like the common lie that I'm a sovereign citizen, I'm not. But these vile, horrible people do that to poison the well. So instead of just directly addressing the argument and okay, that I put forward, the actual argument, not straw manning and not poisoning the well, they just smear me. So anytime someone just hears, oh, he's a sovereign citizen, like me, I shut off. You can't take what a sovereign citizen type says seriously. So, and that's why they do it. So even though these were false statements, they weren't going to hold them accountable. They weren't going to strike them. They were going to still they admittedly were going to rely on false statements, whether you call them statements of fact, they were going to use. So it was clear that I was not going to get a fair hearing. I couldn't. And so, because I put up one hell of a fight, but when they're telling you in plain English, like when people tell you, what they are, believe them. So when the Bar Association, the lawyer, is telling me we're not going to strike false statements, you got to cut your losses. Now, because of COVID and what started in 2019, because I was taking care of family, I was starting to miss a lot of the live broadcast. I was missing my LRN broadcast. And because I missed so many live broadcasts, I was taken off of the rotation. Well, that had a pretty big effect on this as a business, and sales really started to tank. And then in early 2020, I got hit. It was where I'm barely hanging on, money wise. It's very difficult to pay for the website and everything. I got hit with this attack from the bar. So knowing that I couldn't get a fair trial from these scumbags because of this piece of garbage, this fat, dishonest scumbag lawyer who was inactive teaching economics at a university, I figured I would just pull my store. Who was using it? Nobody was using, much like much like the links in my description. Nobody was using my store. So it made sense to me to get these lunatics to back off and leave me the hell alone, to just wrap things up, because things were already wrapping up, because I was already out of business. So I couldn't afford the website anymore. So I lost the website. So there was no trial because it would have been a disaster, because there was no way it could have been fair. Why are you faking the accent, Marks? Stevens, that's funny. You need to use better keywords in your title to get picked up in the algorithm. A lot of the algorithm has to do with you, the regular audience. And it doesn't matter how I thumbnail it. I can have a 10% click-through rate. I don't get a lot of impressions. This is not, so it doesn't, so I can do that, and I have studied that, and I've tried to do that. A lot, if you're not getting the impressions, if you're using a trending topic and you're getting a 10% is a really good click-through rate. But if you're not getting a lot of impressions, what is 10% click-through rate when you're only getting 200 impressions? So, yeah, it's something I will work, continue to try to improve. I don't see much happening anyway. I didn't realize how much of your established audience and their viewing habits have to do with the algorithm showing it. So, yeah, how am I going to take over, Abe Z. Brooks, how am I going to take over this subject matter on YouTube without you providing your comedy? I'm still going to be doing videos. I'm just not going to be doing a live stream anymore. I don't need to be tied to a hard and fast 7 p.m. start time. I don't need that. Injured party versus mallet prohibitor. Well, injured party is, because a cause of action is a violation of a law, a violation of legal right that results in loss, harm, or injury. Mallet prohibitor is wrong just because politicians said so. Doesn't hurt anybody, but politicians want to penalize and profit from it. Is it true veganism makes you grow boobs? From Marks Stevens. If you're eating too much, Yes, that's not been my experience. You can get man boobs because you get fat. So, yeah, veganism or carnism, any kind of diet, if you eat too much, you will grow man boobs. Silbal for Liberty. Good meeting you back in 2018. Well, hey, good meeting you too. If something is unlawful, can you legally do it with a permit? If something is lawful, how can it be illegal to do without a permit? That's Steve Christopherson. What they do is they make it unlawful to do it without the license. Other than self-defense, what grants a man standing to put his hands upon another man? Is it a disguise, a title? Oof. I think it's just self-defense, unless it, either it's self-defense or it's consensual. Mark Stevens, why are you silent on Biden's crimes? Just describe them to me. Is it more than just, the insider trading? And if it's on Hunter Biden, Vafangul, I don't give a damn. I couldn't care less. I'm not obsessed with Hunter Biden. I think what the Republican obsession is, they're really just obsessed with the guy's dick. That, my gosh, on the floor of Congress, they're showing dick pics. Holy crap. Nothing wrong with being obsessed with dicks, but I'm not, and I'm certainly not obsessed with Biden. Michael Friend, Testa lying. Yes, Testa lying. That's what cops, when they're testifying. Mark Stevens, they're disliking that. All right. Mark is definitely more popular than Biden. I wish. That's just not true. Mark Stevens, Mark, what is he? Homosexuality is self-harming. I'm sure homosexuals self-harm because of the way they're treated. Mark, why are you body shaming? I didn't think I did that. All right. You deliberately skipped my question. What are your thoughts on Biden receiving kickbacks from China? Well, I saw Comer. Oh, I think that's his name. They don't have any actual evidence of that. So, what I know we have evidence for is Ivanka Trump, while working as an advisor to her father, Donald Trump, did receive patents, Chinese patents. That's provable. So as far as Biden, Comer already admitted they don't have evidence. They're looking for it. So, all right, I'm going to cut it off there. I'm getting a signal there from the phone. It is going to die. The battery's going to die. Kind of sad. Not a single person was able to help me out with that. So, what crimes did Trump commit? My gosh, I'd have to do it too. I could do a 24-hour stream and barely scratch the surface on all the crimes that maniac did. How about depraved indifference? The man downplayed a deadly pandemic and hundreds of thousands of people died. So is that a good start for you? Depraved indifference to, okay, that's a crime. So, my gosh, what crimes? How many, how much time do you have? Hundreds of thousands of people, that included a friend of mine, that died. A friend of 20-something years died because he listened to that orange scumbag thinking that it was all fake. It was all a hoax. It's just a Chinese hoax. Hey, I don't have time for this. So, I appreciate those tuning in. Appreciate those handful that have supported the show. I'm not even going to say I'm not even going to waste the time. There are links in the description to support the channel, but they have fallen on deaf ears. So I just like I never say to people to subscribe, I'm never going to say again to help support the channel. I've heard it. I got the message loud and clear. So I do appreciate those who tuned into the stream. I should be back live on Wednesday at 7. Maybe the last live stream, I don't know, but I should be back. I try to be a little more definite there. I should be back on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. So till then, salud.